Hi folks, welcome to Test Roll. I'm Martin.
I'm Lars.
And we're here to investigate a camera that Lars brought to me the other day, and I thought we'd have the grand opening with you guys. Lars, can you tell us about what this is?
What does it say here? Use autographic film number A120. So I guess it's an autographic. I mean, it's a, how do you open this thing?
It's a little bump.
Oh, there, yes.
That's a little bump. Sometimes the leather's cracked open, but look at that. Oh,
Ooh.
wow.
And there's this thing pops
And you could do that, but check this out. Check this out.
Oh, there's a lovely spider.
There's a lovely spider.
Do you have like some compressed air?
Yeah, we're gonna go over that in just a minute. But what we're looking at is a folding Kodak. Next door, they're rebuilding a car. Here, I've got a raptor disguised as a chihuahua making noises at me. And now we've got paleontology happening inside the camera here. So let's look at this. This is a No.1 Autographic Kodak Junior. For those of you that know anything about Kodaks, somewhere between about 1914 and maybe as late as 27, they made this type of film called Autographic, and it had sort of a carbon paper backing. You know, instead of the regular paper that backed up roll film, it was sort of like a carbon paper. And the idea was that there would be this little pencil, the stylus really, that goes right here, and it would come out of here, and after you've made your exposure, you would open up this back. Oh, it looks like somebody tried to take a picture with it and they put some paper as a block off, but you would actually have access to the back of the film, and you would write your information on the back, expose it to light, and then wind the film on, and that would identify the negative that you just took. It only worked because film wasn't sensitive to red. And that carbon paper, I believe, was red. Once they came up with panchromatic film, which was the first step toward having color film, they couldn't use this process anymore. These were still used, you just couldn't use the autographic part. They stopped making the film. Wow, that is like gloriously filthy.
It's been like sitting in a basement for many, many years.
Did you ever take a picture with it?
Probably not.
We're going to try to go over some of the things that might be tripping hazards in our little walkabout, like, is it light tight? Like, is the spider still alive? Is there anything that's going to, like, not work? Ugh. Yeah, crunchy, crunchy. So, folding cameras, what can I tell you about them? They have like little scale focusing here. Here it's the last notch is 100 to 30 feet. The middle notch is 25 to 8, and the front notch is 8 to 2.5. Now we've got this sort of crunchy looking Kodak color filter made in USA, number 8. And it looks like there's a fair amount of separation. Ooh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know that I would think that's the best of color filters, but look at that. The lens looks pretty clean.
Yeah.
And it says, what does it say? Rapid rectilinear, Bausch and Lomb. I believe that's what it says. So let's see. Oh, that was on time.
Okay, that's bulby.
That's bulb.
So maybe it's just, okay, that's time.
Oh, okay. Here's 50th of a second. That's,
Looks roughly right.
I am sure that's just very accurate. And here's the 25th.
Looks kind
It
of like the
seems a little
50th.
slower than the other one, so
Yeah.
it works.
So not a whole lot of.
No, it's just simple,
Yeah.
and the focusing is simple. Let's look at this, but folks, this might be the interesting part for many of you. This is how the back comes off, and it just has these little squeeze tabs, and it just pulls off. Sort of a shape of a J, really.
Let me take a look. There's a lot of text on there.
And this is a lot of patent information. License for use with Eastman Autographic film. Patent information from 1902 all the way to, last patent date is 1917, June 19th, 1917. And so this is probably World War I era. Here's where our film spool would go. This is where the take-up spool would be. And this comes out, and your take-up spool would go there. And you put in one side there, and the other side goes in there, and you wind it. This is where this little tab comes out, pulls your fingernail off in the process. Oh, yeah, there we go. This one too.
Is that spring-loaded on that end?
They're kind of there's probably like a little ball catch with a tiny little spring, but so that there's enough interference for it to really be painful to use a thumbnail.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yeah. Oh, that's some great ones. One is actually like a pinhole camera. I can actually see really well.
Oh, okay.
But you can see a few really biggies right in the top there.
Yeah, there's some pretty good ones.
So there are a couple ways to deal with it. One is to get a new bellows.
That might be a thing to do. I've got a bunch of bellows tape. I mean, we can just take the crap out of it.
Maybe all we really need to do is get it going enough to take some pictures. This lens is actually in pretty decent shape. There's the image. Let's see how far away you are.
Page is now arriving. Please step back and allow customers to exit the train before boarding. Bikes and strollers should enter through doors marked with yellow decals.
There's your train. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Thanks a lot again.
To the police force from 1898, and I've got my body cam here. Any perps that give us a problem, well, I just have to ask them to stop and smile first, and then we take them into custody. Almost there's H. Oh, look at that. Isn't that lovely? Worn out camera. We were rather underwhelmed by our results, so Lars has no blame in this. I've created a camera diaper. So you can see we've got like a snood around the bellows, just for the stuff that I didn't get when I was using lots of bellows tape. And then I've created this little camera diaper here. We've loaded the film in already. You know, this is so good looking and deluxe and everything. Do this. Now this is really not so much for any leaks around the front, but we identified a leak in the back. So I'm gonna do the final wind into we have a little hatch in the back, just like a long john. And here comes number 1. Okay, and then we're gonna just fasten that down. Ready for action. I'm getting a portrait. This is the last attempt at this dumb thing. Well, that's that, no matter what. Well, folks, welcome back. We've done a walkabout. In fact, we've done 2 walkabouts, which ought to tell you how successful the first walkabout was. Lars, without further ado, let's have a look at what we got.
Okay.
We drove up to Azusa and we went up to the A-line there, and what do you know, my beautiful repair wasn't quite doing its beautiful job. So we got obviously some light leaks here. I kind of like the station though, kind of cool. All right, let's move on. And the next one was what happens when you say, hey, cool camera, and we're walking around and we kind of grab you and say, please be in our video. And he went along with us as if he was talking to 2 crazy people, which he might have been. But I give him big props for being brave and, you know, putting up with us anyway before he escaped. The one thing that we did notice, I didn't check where I had placed the focus, because there's like a little rack on there on the bottom that gives you 3 choices, and I had it on the wrong one. So this is the retake. So we went back, said, oh my goodness, young man, you know, remember us, the crazy guys? Please, let's do one more that's in focus. And he's like, okay. And he was real nice. And so he took this picture again, and now we got problems with...
I think it's just a light leak. Yeah, I think yeah, that's a light leak, I think.
So now the problem we've got is, all right, looking back, we've got this inconsistent exposure issue where we have a light leak, we don't have a light leak. So what's going on? Let's go to the next one.
I took this photograph. It is perhaps the worst photograph I've taken in 20 years. I was still getting so confused looking through this little minuscule viewfinder. I could not figure out what I was aimed at.
That optic system for the viewfinder, even when it was new, was not nice.
I was getting confused and frustrated, and I just finally, I think I just gave up and
you know what happened? You know, I can tell you what happened. You see that light pole? He was making that vertical. That light pole's actually pretty good.
It's sort of like in like 1950s sci-fi movies where, you know, the evil scientist presses the remote and then must make light pole vertical. And that's what happened.
And it is, you know, and everything else is like, wherever it lands. All right, and we've got another view, same building, and yes, we do have a light leak there.
A light leak.
Pretty significant one. That's kind of neat, really. You got low to the ground on that, so actually, that one would be a cool one to get again. And last one,
Finally, the one good photograph on the roll.
Folks, I took that one. I'm shocked. This was the only thing that sort of came out. This was the last shot in the roll. Now, what drove me crazy is this one doesn't seem to have a light leak issue. The first one had no light leak issue, and the last one have no light leak issue. Why? Okay, so going back to the station shot. So on the top of the frame, there's a light leak. And so that would have to be...
Yeah, the image is upside down.
So the image is upside down. So this has to be where the light leak is.
Yeah.
So if we just turn that around, what's on this side that would give you a light leak? And the bellows didn't seem to have much problem that way. What did seem to have a problem that way is, looky here, there's this thing here, and I'm pretty sure it came in through that. Because the bellows sort of checked out when I taped it up and I was like holding a flashlight there, but I didn't really do much over here. But look at the play in this. You can't really see it. But
Yeah, there is a little bit.
there's a little bit of play,
Yeah.
and it seems to be more pronounced on this side than that side. I really didn't solve it so much as I cocooned the silly thing. So let's see second walkabout here, where we were using the Mummy. And
Seems
what
to
do you
have pretty
know?
much gotten
It
it.
kind of nailed the light leak issue. Again, it's hard to get horizon right. Let's move on. And there's the side of the post office. It's looking pretty good light leak wise. I would like to have been back more. Did you take that actually?
I don't know. At first I thought I did, but now I'm thinking, well, I don't know.
I don't know. That line's straight, so that might be
Maybe,
yours.
yeah.
And okay, here was the City Hall, and that was kind of a weird shot. I don't know what I was thinking.
Maybe just trying to crop out cars on the street.
No,
or
I
something.
think I blew it. But you notice it's got some lines here. This is where I kept forgetting to wind the camera.
Right.
Now this is like looking through a shop window, and that's what I was trying to get. I realized at the time, oh, I just blew away the City Hall shot.
The
And
negative's a little thin, but I
it's-
like how it sort of gets the glinting reflections off
yeah,
of these
it
objects.
almost is a photograph.
Yeah.
But let's move on. And, oh,
Now this one was my fault.
well, then...
We went back and got the City Hall.
Mhm.
Then we were wandering around and found yet another young man who was willing to be photographed.
And probably wishes that he
Yeah.
had met us. But anyway, he said, cool camera. And, very, very, unfortunate for him.
Immediately after I shot it, you said, "Did you wind the camera?"
Ah,
And
yes.
I said, "Nope."
Yep. So we shot him again.
And this one is reasonably successful. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's not totally sharp.
And so we went back after having set the focus for the young man. I was going to take this picture and get a really good shot because Lars was failing pretty badly in this. And of course, it was set at 8 feet away rather than being at infinity. So we have a slightly soft-looking shot of the City Hall. We ended on a but we did prove the concept that yes, if you can conquer the light leaks and actually remember to wind the camera and focus the camera and choose film that's not all messed up, that you can get a good shot in here, or at least, okay. That was a lot of work for that proof, but it does beg the question, should you? And this was a fight. So in order to get this working right, to conquer all of its ills, we had to mummify it, which got it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty ridiculous looking. When you
Yeah,
have
it was
wrapped
like,
up.
I'm frankly, I'm not going to do that again. This is a quandary, because this is what you'd call a parts camera, really. You'd find it in this decayed condition. What are you going to do with it? You're going to display it, or are you going to shoot with it? Well, we kind of cobbled things together to make it shoot, because it was sort of an interesting experiment. When it comes right down to shooting, if I was even thinking that I was going to use it at all frequently, I would buy a better example. This one is pretty far gone.
Yeah.
It could be made better, but why would you do that? There's no reason to put a lot into this unless you want to learn how to do a camera restoration and you didn't care how much time or money you put into it. And quite frankly, that'd be a great way to do it. If, rather than starting on a really complicated, expensive camera that you don't want to screw up, start on the cheap one. If you destroy it, okay, then it's parts.
Yeah, and then, all the issues I have with trying to use this camera are kind of meaningless if what you're trying to do is restore it to something that is kind of a beautiful piece to just have around. I determined that I don't know what I'm doing from using this camera. I forgot to wind it. I forgot to set exposure. I forgot, focus. I couldn't even frame it properly. Frankly, it was embarrassing. I mean,
Well,
apart from that, it was great.
so maybe that's why I enjoy the camera so much. Is it brought Lars down to my level. The one thing I did like about it is they still make film for this.
Yeah.
So, if you found one that was in really great shape, it would be some fun, I think, using it with film. Anyway, folks, thank you for going on this journey with us through should we, shouldn't we? Well, maybe.
We shouldn't.
Yeah, we shouldn't. Anyway, but we hope to see you again next time if we haven't already driven you away. I'm Martin,
I'm Lars.
and we'll see you next time on Test Roll.